Today we're going to take a look at how to post schedule patterns. If you haven't seen the video on how to create schedule patterns, click here for that. Posting schedule patterns will allow you to post any created pattern here to be applied to an individual employee's schedule or to groups of employees. Schedule patterns or rotations are typically set in two ways. One way is that employees have a unique schedule and each employee has their own unique pattern. The second way is that there are several patterns that can be applied to several employees or groups of employees, and we will go over an example of how to do pattern posting for both the group method or for individual employees. First, we'll go through how to post patterns individually to employees. So first we'll just quickly review the patterns here. We have the pattern for Greg. I'm going to double click to see that. This is a simple 1 week pattern that my schedule starts on a Sunday, so that's going to be a Sunday, and his first day is going to be the Monday. And then my second employee, Paul, we'll take a look here. So his pattern starts on a Sunday, and then his second week he starts working on the Tuesday. So we'll exit out of there, and next we will go Setup, Schedule, Post Employee Schedules. Now once we're in here, the first step is going to be to select our pattern. So we go to the pattern column and we go to the row for Greg, and we're going to double click. This will then bring up the list of all available patterns, and I want the pattern for Greg. Then I have Paul, and I'm going to select Paul. And if I had more patterns for my other employees, I would select those down here. Next, we have the posting date. This is the date that my pattern is going to start. So I'm going to double click there, hit the calendar, and this is very far in the past. I don't want to schedule that far in the past, so I'm going to hit today, which is going to move me to today. I'm going to have Greg's pattern start on the Sunday here. We'll take 5th, and Paul, same story here. We'll take the 5th. Next we have the repeat. This is how many times the schedule will repeat into the future. So right now we have it as 1, and that will just post 1 week. So if I set this to 4, for example, that would do 4 weeks or a month with Greg's pattern. With Paul's pattern, it's a 2-week pattern. So setting this to 4 would actually multiply on that. So 4 times 2 for the 2-week pattern would actually make it go 8 weeks into the future. And we can shortcut here to our patterns and just illustrate this a little bit here. So Greg, this is a 1 week pattern, so multiply that by 4. That's going to give us a month. Paul is a 2-week pattern, multiply that by 4. That's going to give us 8 weeks. So if I wanted to post both of these guys only for a month, I would actually want to use a 2 here. 2 times 2 for 4 weeks or a month. We can then post this schedule. You'll see here there's other employees listed. We haven't set anything for them, so it's going to ignore them and only post who we have entered information for here. So under Actions, we go Post Schedules. We say yes, and it says Posting Complete. And here it tells us the last day that we posted, tells us it was successful. And here the posting date has changed. This is a feature under Options, Roll Over As of Date. And what that will do is it will roll this over to when the schedule ends so that you can just recycle the pattern. Okay, so now let's take our shortcuts here. Let's go to the monthly schedule and let's take a look at what actually posted for these guys. Okay, Greg, and we posted in April, so let's go to April and we'll hit OK. Here we can see my pattern was applied for 4 weeks going into May. And we'll check our employee Paul. He was applied to his schedule pattern rotation. A couple other options here. We have the include true or false. Setting this to false will ignore this employee. So let's say I wanted to post again now, and I just wanted to ignore Paul. I can set this to false, and it will not post for Paul. And I can go post, and it will post Greg starting from May 3rd, and it will post this for another month. And we get the details. Successful, skipped, not included. All right, that's how to apply the schedule to individual employees. Another side note here under options, in most cases, this option should be enabled, remove existing schedule information. What that will do is if I repost over a schedule that was already there, it will remove the old schedule and apply the new one. If this is disabled, like this, it will append the schedule or combine the new schedule you're posting with what was already there. So in most cases, if we're going to repost, we just want the newest schedule. So we leave this on with the little checkbox. All right, so now we'll go through how to apply this in a group-based scenario. So step number 1, we want to go to Setup, and we want to go to the specification buckets. And here I'm just going to select the group of people that I want to apply a pattern to. We'll just take the top 10 folks here. All right, so these are the people I want to apply the same schedule pattern to because they're all in the same schedule group. So I'm going to go Setup, and then I'm going to go Batch Edits. And you could go through, like I did earlier, to each cell, set the pattern by double-clicking, set the date by double-clicking each one. But this Batch Edit here is going to allow us to batch that operation. So I can select Pattern, and these guys are going to be my food and beverage rotation number 1. This schedule is going to start April 5th, and I want to post it for 4 repetitions. And just a little bit of review here. Back in our food and beverage schedule pattern, this is a 2-week pattern, which means a 4 repetition is going to post this for 8 weeks. And back to our batch edits. All right, this is what I need. I'll hit OK. And we can see here everybody's got the same posting date. Everyone's got the same pattern. It's going to repeat the pattern 4 times. And we have the include, which some people are false. I actually want to include everybody. So we're going to go back to Setup, back to Batch Edit. And I'm going to go include, and I want yes. And there we go. Now everyone's set to true on the include. And we can go Actions, and we can go to Post. Posting complete, and everyone has posted successfully. Okay, so my first group has had their schedule applied. Now I can go back to my specification buckets, and we'll select our second group. So I'm going to remove all, and my second group, starting with John here. Let's grab 10 folks and take that. Okay, so then back to my batch edit. These guys are going to be on food and beverage 2. I want to post from there. I want it to repeat 4 times. Include. Yes, we want to include. Okay, so here we'll go Actions, we'll go Post. All right, posting's now complete. All right, now we will run a schedule report to view everything that we just applied. Now in our schedule report, we can see both groups of employees applied to the schedule pattern.